Welcome to Senior Health Hub. Did you know that studies show over 40% of women over 60 experience changes in their sexual health? And many are left without the knowledge or support to navigate these changes. Yet, fewer than 25% of them seek advice from healthcare professionals. Now, here's the thing. Women's sexual health and pleasure in later years are often left out of the conversation. Aging doesn't mean your desire for intimacy and pleasure should fade, it simply evolves. In today's video, I'm going to share 5 secrets every older woman needs to know about masturbation and how these simple truths can transform your life, restore your confidence, and help you embrace your body in a new way. But stick around until the end, because the final secret could be the most liberating thing you learn about your body as you age. So, if you're ready, let's dive in. 1. Embracing change. Redefining sexual health. After 60, as we get older, it's natural to notice changes in our bodies, and for many women, the changes in sexual health can feel particularly unsettling. There's a sense of unease that comes with realizing that things are no longer the way they used to be. For many women, the first signs of this shift come after menopause, when the body undergoes hormonal changes that affect everything from mood to energy levels and, yes, sexual desire. But these changes don't have to mark the end of an enjoyable sex life. In fact, this is a chance to redefine what sexual pleasure means at this stage in life. Take Susan, for instance. She came to see me when she was 64. She was newly widowed, and she had never really considered her sexuality on her own before. She felt disconnected from her own body. She didn't understand why she didn't feel desire the way she used to. She thought that perhaps this was just the natural course of things, that after a certain age, sexual feelings should just disappear. But Susan's story isn't unique. There's a widespread misconception that once a woman hits a certain age, her sexual life has to come to a halt. But what I've seen throughout my years in practice is that this idea is not only outdated, but it's also harmful. Susan's story changed once we began discussing the natural changes her body had gone through. Hormonal fluctuations, changes in the vaginal walls, and a decrease in estrogen can all affect things like lubrication, sensation, and overall comfort during sex. But these physical changes can be managed and embraced. I explained to Susan that there's no magic switch that suddenly takes away a woman's sexuality as she ages. It's simply about learning to understand and work with your body. We talked about how, while she might not feel the same kind of spontaneous desire as she did in her 20s and 30s, it doesn't mean that her body doesn't still crave connection and intimacy. It just requires more awareness. Susan began a routine of gentle self-care, focusing on emotional connection rather than just physical performance. What Susan came to understand is that sexual health at any age is about connection to your body, to yourself, and, if you're in a relationship, to your partner. It's about letting go of unrealistic expectations and embracing the intimacy and pleasure that can still be experienced, albeit in a different way. Aging brings an opportunity to explore new dimensions of intimacy, ones that focus less on quick gratification and more on presence and emotional bonding. By releasing the shame associated with aging and sexuality, Susan found herself reconnecting with her desires. It wasn't instantaneous, but it was meaningful. Slowly, she regained her confidence, discovering that her sexuality wasn't something lost, it had simply transformed, and now it was her turn to discover it anew. Through simple, consistent engagement with herself, Susan regained her vitality, showing that pleasure at any age can be fulfilling and empowering. 2. The emotional and neurological benefits of masturbation for older women. Now, let's talk about something that might surprise you: masturbation. For many older women, there's still this unspoken stigma surrounding the act of self-pleasure. Society often portrays masturbation as something reserved for younger women, but I'm here to tell you that masturbation can be an essential tool for maintaining emotional and neurological well-being as you age. Take the example of Margaret, a woman in her late 60s who came to me seeking advice about feeling emotionally disconnected. She had always been in long-term relationships and had stopped exploring her own pleasure when her marriage ended. She was initially hesitant when I suggested that she might consider reconnecting with her body through self-pleasure. Like many women, she felt a little embarrassed, like it was something she should have outgrown by now. But here's the truth that Margaret needed to hear. Masturbation is not just about sexual pleasure. It's a tool for emotional regulation. When we engage in self-pleasure, our brains release chemicals like oxytocin, serotonin, and dopamine neurochemicals that help regulate mood, reduce stress, and even improve sleep. For women over 60, these are critical benefits. Our emotional well-being is deeply connected to our physical body, and masturbation is one way to tap into that connection. In Margaret's case, I suggested she start slow by simply paying attention to her body without judgment. She started taking time for herself, focusing not on performance but on sensation and the calming effects it had on her. Over time, she noticed that she felt less anxious, more present in her body, and better able to handle the stresses of life. It wasn't just about orgasm, it was about reconnecting with herself emotionally, something that's often neglected as we get older. What we often fail to realize is that the act of self-pleasure is an act of self-care. It's a reminder that our bodies still deserve attention and care, even as they change. Masturbation allows older women to explore their bodies, rediscover pleasure, and reduce feelings of stress or loneliness. It becomes not just a physical release, but an opportunity for emotional grounding. So, if you're feeling disconnected or experiencing emotional fatigue, I encourage you to consider how masturbation could help you reconnect not just physically, but emotionally. It can be a practice that fosters self-love, reduces anxiety, and helps you feel empowered in your own body again. 3. Maintaining physical health. The importance of use it or lose it. It's no secret that the body undergoes significant changes as we age. But what most people don't realize is that sexual function is one of those areas that needs to be actively maintained. If you stop using your sexual organs, they can lose sensitivity and elasticity, much like any other muscle or tissue in the body. This concept really hit home with Joan, a woman in her early 70s who had been in a long marriage and stopped engaging in sexual activity after her husband passed away. She came to see me concerned about her lack of desire and physical discomfort. During our conversation, I explained the concept of use it or lose it, which is especially relevant to sexual health. Here's the thing. Just like how we use our muscles to keep them strong and flexible, we need to engage our sexual organs regularly to maintain their function. Over time, vaginal tissues can lose elasticity, and the pelvic floor muscles can weaken, leading to discomfort during intercourse or even a decrease in sensitivity. Joan didn't realize that sexual activity, whether with a partner or through self-pleasure, was vital for maintaining the health of these muscles and tissues. So, we started focusing on gentle stimulation to encourage blood flow and maintain elasticity in her vaginal tissues. We also worked on strengthening the pelvic floor muscles, which are critical for maintaining sexual function. I encouraged Joan to make masturbation part of her regular routine, not just for pleasure, but as a way of maintaining her body's health and function. Over time, Joan noticed significant improvements, not just physically but also emotionally. She became more confident and comfortable with her body. She realized that self-pleasure wasn't just about satisfying a physical need. It was about keeping her body healthy, strong, and functional. The truth is, whether or not you're in a relationship, your sexual health is worth maintaining. By engaging in regular masturbation, you can preserve the function of your sexual organs, increase blood flow, and improve overall pelvic health. It's not just about performance, it's about self-care and longevity. 4. Breaking free from porn. Overstimulation and its effects on the brain. As we delve deeper into the topic of sexual health, there's one area I want to address that many older women aren't aware of: the impact of pornography. Pornography can have detrimental effects on the brain's sexual response system, and this is especially true for women who may have turned to it during periods of loneliness or stress. Take Emily, a 69-year-old woman who came to me feeling disconnected from her sexuality. She had been using pornography as a way to cope with her feelings of loneliness after her divorce. Initially, it seemed harmless, a way to fill the emotional void. However, over time, she began noticing that she wasn't as responsive to real-life intimacy. Her brain had become accustomed to the overstimulation that pornography provides, and she found it increasingly difficult to experience the same pleasure during intimate moments with a partner. Here's the issue. Pornography can desensitize the brain, making it harder for women to respond to natural forms of arousal. Over time, the brain becomes accustomed to high-intensity stimuli, and real-life experiences no longer seem as engaging. This phenomenon, known as arousal fatigue, is something I see often in my practice. For Emily, I suggested she take a break from pornography and focus on reawakening her body's natural response to intimacy. It wasn't easy, and it didn't happen overnight, but gradually she started reconnecting with her own body. She learned to engage in self-pleasure without the aid of pornography, allowing her to rediscover natural forms of arousal and emotional connection. It was a slow process, but one that helped her regain her sexual vitality. The key takeaway here is this: if you find yourself relying on pornography, it may be time to step back and give your brain a chance to reset. By disconnecting from overstimulation, you allow your body to respond more naturally to real intimacy, rekindling the magic that comes with emotional and physical connection. 5. Embracing masturbation as a lifeline for longevity and confidence. Finally, let's talk about the most powerful tool you have for maintaining your sexual and emotional health: masturbation. For many women, there's a lingering shame around self-pleasure as they age. They feel like it's something they should give up or that it's no longer appropriate. But I'm here to tell you, masturbation is a lifeline for older women. Whether you're in a relationship or not, masturbation offers profound health benefits. It improves circulation, strengthens pelvic muscles, helps you sleep better, and boosts your mood. But perhaps most importantly, it helps maintain a sense of sexual identity and confidence. For women, especially those who have been widowed or divorced, it can be a powerful reminder that you are allowed to feel pleasure at any age. For years, I've worked with women like Carol, a 75-year-old widow who had stopped caring for her own sexual health. She felt disconnected from her body, almost as if she had to suppress her sexual identity to fit into societal expectations of older women. But when we started discussing masturbation, Carol realized it wasn't just about feeling good, it was about feeling whole again. When you embrace masturbation as part of your self-care routine, you're telling yourself that you matter, that your pleasure and well-being are important. It's about reclaiming your sexual health and embracing it with confidence. Masturbation, when done with awareness and care, becomes a celebration of your body, a way to honor yourself. It's not just about physical release, it's about self-love, emotional healing, and maintaining your sense of identity. Thank you for staying with me through these powerful secrets. I hope these insights have empowered you to embrace your body and sexuality at every stage of life. Aging doesn't have to mean losing touch with your desires or intimacies. An opportunity to reconnect with your body in new ways. If you found this video helpful, please leave a comment below and share your thoughts. Don't forget to subscribe to Senior Health Hub for more honest, science-based advice about aging, intimacy, and health. Remember, it's never too late to feel good, to embrace pleasure, and to honor your body. Take care, stay curious, and continue to celebrate every stage of your beautiful life.